You've probably done this without even knowing it was the mistake. You dropped the shrimp in the pan, waited for them to look done, and by the time they curled up tight and turned that deep pink, they'd already gone rubbery. Tough, squeaky, chewy in the wrong way. Most people think that's just how shrimp are, a little rubbery, easy to overdo. It isn't. That texture is a mistake, and it's one of the easiest things in the kitchen to get right once you understand what's actually happening inside. The shrimp. In Japanese cooking, shrimp come out tender, sweet, and snappy in the good way almost every time. Whether it's in a bowl of udon, folded into fried rice, or fried into ebi tempura so light it barely holds together. Rubbery shrimp are so rare there that nobody really worries about them. And the reason comes down to something that happens in seconds, faster than with almost any other food you cook. Here's the part that surprises people. Shrimp are already more cooked than you think by the time they look ready. And the single biggest thing that saves them has almost nothing to do with the pan. It's a decision you make before any heat touches them at all. I'll come back to it. The whole thing comes down to why shrimp turn rubbery in the first place. The step almost everyone skips before cooking. The heat, and the moment you take them off. Together, those are the difference between shrimp that snap tenderly and shrimp that bounce off your teeth. Start with why they go rubbery, because it explains every fix. Shrimp are almost pure lean protein and water, with very little fat to protect them, and that protein sets at a low temperature and sets fast. Faster than chicken, faster than fish. Picture the shrimp's muscle as a loose coil. Gentle heat tightens that coil just enough to go firm and juicy. A few seconds too long and it clenches all the way down, squeezing the water out. And that's the rubber. Overcooked shrimp have literally wrung themselves dry in the pan, and once that water is gone, it doesn't come back. It's the same reason a shrimp goes from raw to done in about a minute a side, and no more. There's so little fat and so much lean protein that the window between perfect and ruined is narrower than almost anything else you cook. You've seen the sign 100 times without knowing what it meant. A shrimp cooked just right curls into a gentle C shape. A shrimp cooked too long clenches into a tight O, the head end curling all the way around toward the tail. A tight O is a useful warning sign that a shrimp may already be going too far. It shifts a little with size and preparation. But once you learn to read that curl, you can judge doneness from across the kitchen. Once you see it that way, the fix almost suggests itself, and it starts before the heat with a step nearly everyone outside Japan skips. A quick salt and baking soda soak, a simple shrimp prep technique you'll find across Japanese and other East Asian cooking. The preparation usually starts by peeling and deveining them, and giving them a quick rinse, sometimes with a little salt, and a splash of sake to draw off any faint fishy smell. So what goes into the soak is already clean and sweet. You toss peeled shrimp with a little salt and a pinch of baking soda, and let them sit for 15 or 20 minutes before cooking. The salt helps the shrimp retain moisture instead of expelling it under heat, while the small amount of baking soda raises the surface pH and changes the way the proteins behave, giving the shrimp that firm, springy texture rather than a shrunken, squeaky one. This one step, done on the counter before the pan is even hot, is the single biggest reason restaurant shrimp have that clean, springy snap yours don't. It's the decision I promised you at the start, and it happens before any heat at all. The prep has a second half people miss. After the soak, you rinse the shrimp and pat them completely dry. A wet shrimp dropped into a pan steams instead of searing, going pale and soft, and it drags the pan temperature down so everything cooks unevenly. Dry shrimp hit the heat and take on color and flavor right away. Salt and soda for the inside, a dry surface for the outside. Both handled before the shrimp ever meet the heat. And don't throw away the shells. In Japanese cooking, shrimp shells and heads get simmered into a quick, sweet stock for soups, rice, or sauces. So one purchase gives you both the shrimp and the base for another dish. That's the prep. Now the heat, and this is where people do exactly the wrong thing. The instinct with something delicate is to cook it gently and slowly, but shrimp want the opposite. High heat and fast. A hot pan cooks the outside quickly and gets the shrimp out before the inside has time to overcook and seize. Low, slow heat is what dries a shrimp out because it sits in that danger zone far too long. You want them in and out a minute or two at most, the pan hot enough to sizzle the second they land. And the shrimp should go in cold, straight from the fridge or the soak, not sitting out warming up, because a cold shrimp buys you a few extra seconds of margin before the center overcooks, which, on something this fast, is the difference between snappy and rubbery. And you cook them in a single layer, never crowded. Pile too many shrimp into the pan at once, and they drop the temperature, release water, and steam each other into that same pale, rubbery softness. The important part is to give them room, work in batches if there are a lot, and keep the pan hot the whole time. Shrimp reward a little space and a lot of heat. This is exactly why tempura works the way it does. Each shrimp goes into the hot oil with room around it, cooks for well under a minute, and comes out snappy inside its light shell, never stewed in a crowded pan. Then comes the part that ruins more shrimp than anything else, the moment almost everyone reads wrong. You have to pull them early. Shrimp carry enough heat to keep cooking after they leave the pan, and they turn from perfect to rubbery in the time it takes to plate them. So you take them off just as they turn opaque, while the very center is still catching up, and let that carryover heat finish the job on the plate. A shrimp that looks completely uniformly opaque in the pan has already gone one step too far. Pull them at the gentle C, not the tight O, and they'll be perfect by the time they reach the table. One thing worth being clear about, the goal isn't undercooked shrimp. You want them just cooked through, opaque, tender, and still springy, rather than dry and rubbery. That means cooking them properly, but not a second longer. And it's the whole difference between sweet and springy and tough and dry. Step back, and it's really one problem, handled from a few sides. Shrimp go rubbery because their lean protein seizes and wrings out its water at a low temperature, fast. So everything the Japanese approach does is about protecting that moisture and getting out in time. Soak them so they hold water and firm up. Dry them so they sear instead of steam. Cook them hot and fast in a single layer so they never sit and seize. Pull them at the C, not the O, and let carryover finish them. Not one of those steps needs anything you don't already have in an ordinary kitchen. What gets me about all of this is how little of it happens over the heat. The shrimp are half saved before they cook, sitting in that salt and soda, and half saved by the timing of when you pull them. The cooking itself, the part everyone stresses about, is over in about 90 seconds, and is almost the least fragile step, as long as the heat is high and you don't wander off. The rubbery shrimp people have put up with for years were never really a cooking failure. They were a prep failure, and a timing failure on either side of a cooking step that was fine all along. And that's the real thread running through all of it, the idea behind so much of how Japan cooks. Rather than trying to rescue tough shrimp after the fact by drowning them in sauce, the whole approach prevents the toughness from ever setting in, preparing the shrimp, so the problem never arrives. Prevention over correction, the same principle whether it's a juicy steak, a tender pork chop, a piece of salmon that doesn't dry out, or shrimp that finally snap instead of bounce. Try it once with a single batch. Soak them in a little salt and baking soda while you get everything else ready. Rinse, pat them bone dry, and cook them hot and fast in a single layer. Pull them the second they curl into that gentle sea, just as they turn opaque, and let them rest a moment before you serve. The shrimp you used to cook into rubber come out sweet, plump, and tender, and they stop being the thing you overcook, and start being the fast, easy protein you reach for on a busy night. People think good shrimp is about buying bigger ones or some restaurant trick. Most of the time it's about a quick soak, high heat, and pulling them off a few seconds before your nerve tells you to. That's the whole idea behind this channel, one dish at a time. The next one takes on the vegetable people are the most sure they already know how to cook, and the small change that proves them wrong.